All right, and we are live. Cool. Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is Saturday, November 20th, 6:11 a.m. here in the Arizona desert, and it's a nice weekend forming up. Volume's a little bit down. Prices are moving up. We're seeing a magical 50 moving average bounce on the daily for Bitcoin and many alts. So let's rock along and get started. Thought I would just start this little episode here with a beautiful green market, a deep green AVAX, a deep green SHIB for all you SHIB holders out there, and Crow. If you're a crypto.com card user, well, you must be doing some transactions or something. It's also an exchange now, but Crow doing quite well, and that's their token. So as always, bitcoindailyview.com got more for you there. I list most of the indicators I use and such like that here, so it's all there. Yesterday I did an interview over at Radiant Creators with Denis. Denis, I'm going to call him Denis. I'll mess that last name up. On the Poland border situation. This is deep stuff. It's a little bit over an hour, and we had a little bit of connectivity problems, but in general, this is deep stuff. I think a lot of people are very interested in what's going on with the Poland-Belarus border, the big picture, facts that we know on the ground, and then also, of course, some high-octane speculation. But this is good stuff. Going to be doing a series of videos on this with people who are journalists who are on the ground there, and also historians who know, well, of course, the history of Poland and its borders, and Germany and Russia. So we're going to deep dive into this. I linked to it in the show notes there in the description if you want to check it out. I think it has value. It's good stuff. And one thing to be aware of that's going on here is this: human trafficking should scare you more than the current totalitarian globalist bullshit. So with that said, you might want to check it out. Once again, looking at the crypto square universe here, a green day, Bitcoin's up 58,716. I do like that. Dominance 43%, good spot for that. Some mostly green and some deep green. Not many things blowing it today. All right, looking at volume though, Bitcoin trading volume, 3.7 billion. That's basically nothing. We are looking at 2.1, say 2.2 billion on Binance. That's cool. Almost a billion, coming in at 839 billion on Coinbase. So we have some volume today, but still, this is overall kind of low volume, so be careful. Price action is good across the market right now, but watch out, Bitcoin's not strong, although its dominance is only around 43%. So be watchful. Now, I would rather see it around 5 billion or more to have more confidence in a continued upswing, but this is crypto, anything can happen. We're kind of seeing what we expect, though. It is weekend, and volume does tend to trail off, and for a weekend, 3.7 billion is not that bad. Let's see how it rolls. Looking at spot trading volume on Binance, want to see 30K, well, 30 billion, I should say, for a good day, 50 billion for a really good day. We're at 27 billion, and we're last 24 hours, and we're down 47%, as you can see on the 7-day graph. Well, weekend volume is basically chilling out. That's kind of to be expected. On derivatives, we want to see about 70 billion for a good day. We're at 52 billion, and once again, we're down almost 50% there too last 24 hours. So ultimately, we're hitting the weekend with some great price action, but not the greatest volume. Take it for what it's worth. All right, 79 billion. I'm sorry, not 79 billion. Looking at longs versus shorts on Binance. Let's check out sentiment. We got 79% long, 20% short. That's definitely wonderful. And that's for Bitcoin. For Ethereum, 71% long, 28% short. So definitely a long bias for Bitcoin and Ethereum on Binance. Looking at, where's our little chart here? There it is. I thought I'd just take a peek, even though it's weekend and the market isn't technically open. I thought I would look at, just check out the dollar strength index. We're going way back to 21st of May. You can see, even though, of course, it's doing a sawtooth pattern, as things always do, dollar strength index is definitely on a rocket ship to Pluto recently. That's kind of cool to see. And I'll clear this up here so you can see. And what did it do recently? A 50 moving average bounce. The green line here is the 50 moving average, and the white is 200 moving average, and the blue is the 314 moving average. So in the daily chart, the 200 just crossed over the 314, positive sign. We had a nice strong 50 moving average bounce. I like it. So basically, dollar strength index, for what it's worth, if you care, it's doing pretty darn well. The MACD on the MACD here, the MACD on the dollar strength index is definitely positive and powerful. I'd like to see Bitcoin's doing that right now. Anyway, for what it's worth, there you go. Dollar strength index, really, really good. Looking at Bitcoin on the daily. Here we go. This is all about the 50 moving average today. We're going to look at that first, then we'll on the daily. Then we're going to go down to the 45-minute chart, maybe the 4-hour, and get some perspective on things. Okay. So looking at the daily chart for Bitcoin versus USDT. Now, we did not quite get a 50 moving average bounce, but we kind of did. It tried to hold support above it, didn't make it, drop below it. Now it's catching up, looking good. And what else are we seeing here? Some glorious stuff that I'm very, very happy to see on the daily chart. Look at that. I do believe we're starting to chill out in our downward spiral for the daily MACD. Starting to see that chill out a little bit. If we continue to have some nice price action today, moving up or even kind of holding sideways, maybe we will see the tangent of the MACD turn towards the positive. And when we do, I think we're going to see some retail trader confidence cruise into the market. Who can complain about that? I can't personally. Now, let in note, so basically, even though it's kind of weak, I think we are seeing a 50 moving average bounce here. We're still above the 200 moving average on the daily, and a 314, good to go. And we're gonna work getting above the 50. And if you look at it, it is sort of, let's just say it's a lot of things do bounce a little bit above or below a moving average, but close enough to say that it was something to do with it, that the moving average kind of did come into play. So I think that we're seeing a hard dump of Bitcoin. I mean, do look at that. I mean, last couple of days, as you may have noticed, I have a feeling you very well may have, Bitcoin has just been, oh my gosh, just some pretty hard velocity downwards, for sure. MACD has been pretty terrible, but we're beginning to see a turnaround, and I think we're going to hug that 50 moving average and break above it in the next day or so. We'll see how long it takes, but definitely I think we're seeing around a 50 MA bounce. And if we want to have some fun, why not? Let's do a Fibonacci sequence right here. Does it match anything else? Well, it kind of does. If you think about it, we are seeing at the 382 fib line here definitely came into play, and we didn't quite make the .5 fib line, but we got pretty close to it. We almost wicked down to it. So we are bouncing at a respectable place via the fib. That would make sense. So overall, it makes sense. Bitcoin, a loose 50 moving average bounce. And we'll look into why I think that matters as we go through some more charts. Quickly looking at the daily with the fancy indicators. Pretty good. We're seeing some turn up action there. Let's go down to the immediate price action, as this is crypto. That's where we roll. We're all about the immediate gains. If we do look, I think this is a big deal. So as you can tell, recently Bitcoin definitely on the 45-minute chart here, broke below the 200 moving average. And it's had a lot of downwards velocity, and it broke below the 200 moving average back on the 14th of November. And it's been kind of a shitstorm ever since. It has not been able to get above that 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart, hardly. But right now, as you can see here, we're beginning to see a turn up, and that's really nice. And the market in general is reflecting that. It sees Bitcoin perking up, and it's perking up also. Looking at indicators, directional index is green. ADX is slowly cranking up. Squeeze indicator is showing a little bit of a lack of velocity upwards now, but that's fine because definitely Bitcoin has been pushing. Whenever we get below these powerful moving averages on the short time frame, of course, it's going to take a little bit of effort to get above it, but sometimes it does happen in 1 or 2 candles, like on the 45-minute chart. It's certainly good. Bitcoin could be back above the 200 and 314 in 15 minutes. It certainly could happen. But overall, these indicators look, I would say, hopeful for a continued move up. It's pretty strong. You can see right here on the 4-hour chart, we broke below the 200 moving average, broke below the 314 moving average. But you can see some call this a V-shaped a V-shaped bounce, which tends to be a powerful thing. Right now, Bitcoin on the 4-hour charts, we're working on getting back above that 314 moving average. Indicators show that we're especially in the 4-hour chart here. I'd always mention wave channel oscillator by Lazy Bear is a very, very contrarian, truth-centered indicator, and it's showing we hit a bottom and we're beginning to turn up. That definitely shows some upwards momentum. It's hard to get by the harsh, authoritarian, cruel, but fair hand of the wave channel oscillator by Lazy Bear. Do watch in the 4-hour chart. It does appear when you look at the Stochastic Rsi that we might be overbought right now, and that's fine because it takes some effort to get back above these powerful and important moving averages. So with that said, directional index is in the red, but as you can see, it's beginning to trend towards the positive. I bet we'll see this ADX tangent turn up. Squeeze indicator shows we definitely took a beating. But we are beginning to recover from that. So we're going to start to see some green pretty soon. So 4-hour charts looking good. 45-minute charts looking good. A little bit of disarray. What can you do? This kind of, volatility, it does make indicators mean a little bit less. But one thing I do like seeing right now on the 45-minute chart, let's go to the hourly chart. Let's look at this Stochastic Rsi. It's trending down back into that sweet buy zone. It's not overbought right now, so I kind of do like seeing that. That's a very, very hopeful thing. Hourly chart looks nice right here. Things are turning up. So I think that the momentum of this dump is turning around, and we're going to see a healthy a healthy Bitcoin continue. Let's be watching for that 45-minute cross back above the on a 45-minute chart, the cross above the 200 moving average. Let's look at a 15-minute chart just for fun and see where we're at. I know it's very, very immediate price action, but we are going into the weekend where usually volume, chills out a little bit, but yet even with that volume chilling out as expected, price action's moving up. Check this out, 15-minute chart. You can see the positive price action that's been going on. We have broken above the 200 moving average, and now we are challenging the 314 moving average. And these indicators in general are looking pretty darn positive. Bitcoin is just kind of cruising along, pushing, trying to get back to a healthy status. I like it, definitely in my opinion. Not financial advice, entertainment purposes only. But this ain't time to short Bitcoin. Am I certain of it continuing? Well, it's recovering from some serious volatility and dumpage, but overall, it does look like it is. Even with the low volume this weekend so far, let me refresh this. We're only rolling into Saturday, and with Bitcoin's strength and in general the market being fairly green, we could definitely see a Lambo weekend, and we're going to continue. 50 moving average on the daily. Here's the Ethereum chart daily. Check it out. What's it doing? A powerful, perfect 50 moving average bounce. Didn't quite, exactly bounce off it, but it did close to darn enough, didn't it? I think the MACD for Ethereum is at tangents almost towards the positive. MACD is closing towards the positive now. Daily, Ethereum doing good. And see, we're seeing this in a lot of places. Bitcoin it definitely had some serious volatility and went below the 50 moving average. And I thought on daily, maybe we were screwed, but it's recovering from that. Let's see what happens there. Let's now drill down on Ethereum. We have continued to be above the 200 moving average, which Bitcoin is not. Definitely have a red directional index, red indicators, but they're all pretty much turning up. Even wave channel oscillator by Lazy Bear is beginning to show some optimism. So it appears that Ethereum from this point on will just continue back upwards as long as Bitcoin stays healthy. It's nice. Ethereum really has been, in the midst of Bitcoin's dumpiness, it has held on pretty strong. And on the, this is a daily chart. I'm screwing up here. Sorry about that. Daily chart. No, 45-minute chart. There we go. Sorry. 45-minute chart for Ethereum. It dumped with Bitcoin. It's recovering with Bitcoin. What's it doing right now in the 45-minute chart? It's beginning to challenge that 200 moving average. Directional index is in the green. ADX is in the right spot. Let's look at the squeeze indicator. In the red, but it's turning towards the green. KRI is looking good. Stochastic Rsi shows we're going to go sideways a little bit before we break above. And wave channel oscillator by Lazy Bear is showing that this is going to be a bit of a glass ceiling. So I think right now, something I'm going to be watching on the 45-minute chart for Ethereum versus USDT, it's going to be challenging that 200 moving average. And when it breaks above it, I have a feeling, just saying a feeling, I think that we very well might see alts really start to rally, although some certainly are not waiting around. Daily chart for Shiba Inu versus USDT. What do we got going on here? What's that? A 50 moving average bounce. and the daily MACD is beginning to turn towards the positive. That histogram is starting to go in the right direction. I think we'll see that tangent turn up for the MACD signal pretty soon. So with the MACD towards the signal, I like that. So look at that, a daily chart. I mean, definitely, as you can see, SHIB pumped like crazy. And this is on Binance. It pumped and pumped like nobody's business. It was looking great. Of course, it gets given a lot back. It kind of went almost down to the 618 golden pocket right there, but did not quite get there. But look at that. 50 moving average is definitely bouncing there with perfection. Right now, it's hanging out and challenging the dot 5. This is definitely a very, very possible bounce location. Let's look at this with all the fancy indicators on a shorter time frame. You can see that, what can we see here? Directional index has stayed in the green, even with giving some, sorry, this is the daily chart again. 45-minute chart. Okay, this looks better. Let me clear up. Let's see what we can see here. 45-minute chart. I do like charts like this. I know I go on about SHIB a lot, but what I do like here is I do like when you see a nice long beautiful downtrend that could not quite get above the let me make this a little bit smaller. Yeah, so you see this long beautiful downwards trend. It definitely got below the 200 moving average. It's been challenging it, could not quite get over it. And if you do look, we kind of have a big old triangle pattern here. It all depends on how you draw it. Let's just go like that, just for the sake of argument. I mean, it has kind of whatever. I'll just do like this, whatever. It's early morning. Anyway, it is getting squeezed one way or the other. If you kind of look at it, this is kind of not really valid, that squeeze there, but still, beautiful downtrend. It's been challenging at 200. Will it break it above it? Will it break above it? I really like to get into things right about, even though it could have been here, or here, or here with a strong break, or here, and maybe it's not going to pull through this time either, but still beautiful long downtrend below the 200 moving average. Eventually that's where, in my opinion, this could be a breakout that I like. I mean, it's kind of faked it out a few times already, but let's look at the indicators here. Sorry. And where they are at. Let's really be very strict about the indicators. And if you look here, you've got the directional index is definitely in the green. The ADX is trending up. It's right about 22, right above 20, 23, 20, 21, 22, 23. That's where you get positive. About 25, you're definitely looking good. So we have the ADX trending up. We have the directional index in the green, been in the green for a while. It's definitely challenging that 200 moving average. Also, we are seeing that 50 moving average bounce on the daily, which definitely is some strong, positive bias, in my opinion. Directional index is in the red, of course, but it's trending towards the green. It's looking good. KRI's in the green. Stochastic Rsi shows maybe a little bit more of a cool. I'm gonna say it's just fine. It's in the buy zone. It's trending negative, but it's not at the bottom nor the top. So RSI is not really working for or against us right now. Wave turned oscillated by lazy bear shows a slight uptick. So I definitely think watch SHIB today for a break above the 200 moving average. I think if we could definitely, what it has not been able to do before, when it had some breaks above, if it can break above, keep some volume, especially with a positive market in general, and BTC moving upwards. And hey, why not? Dollar strength index ain't looking bad either. Maybe we can see a break above, come back to test support, and then continue moving upwards. If we want to sort of like micro this for fun, micro fib this, where are we at right now? Nowhere really interesting. So let's forget about that. Anyway, SHIB could be a player today. If nothing else, just do note that it is doing a 50 moving average bounce, most likely. I do like seeing that. It's a little bit of a sloppy 50 moving average bounce right here, but so what? I think it's doing it. Oh wait, we're back on BTC. What happened here? Oh, sorry. One sec. There we go. SHIB versus USDC. beautiful 50 moving average bounce on the daily. So, and good looking daily MACD. So I'm definitely watching SHIB for a recovery at this point. Looking at ADA versus USDT here on the daily, check it out. Once again, a little bit sloppy, but a 200 moving average bounce. So ADA versus USDT didn't do a 50 moving average bounce, but it does appear to be doing a 200 moving average bounce on the daily, and that MACD is turning up towards the positive. That tangent is good. This is nice. Let's hop here to the 45-minute chart. ADA versus USDT. What do we got going on here? Where's my stuff? One sec here. I don't know why I'm not seeing. There it is. Check it out. ADA versus USDT on a 45-minute chart. We definitely have pushed the top of the RSI cave. We've gotten far from the moving 8, so we definitely are pushing hard. We have definitely upwards momentum, shows the squeeze indicator. Directional index is in the green. ADX is about 17. It's turning up. Watch for that to get around 20. Stochastic Rsi shows we probably push about as hard as we can this attempt. But so does lazy bear indicator, shows that KRI is in the green. Tangent isn't really turning down. Something I like seeing right here is we have broken above that 200 moving average rather powerfully. It's all about, can we find support on it and continue moving up? Most likely we'll bounce between the 200 and 314 a little bit and continue moving up, and then bounce off the 314 and keep going. Some kind of a pattern like that. But definitely, if we can find some strong support and strong indicators above this 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart, and especially throw that 314 in there too, I think we're looking very, very powerful. So with that said, ADA versus USDT in the green today, looking perky, nice indicators, looks badass on the daily, and it looks badass on the 45-minute chart. Let's check it out on the 4-hour chart. And I'm just spending a moment here talking about ADA because it is one of the old school coins. Many of the, snarky bastards out there who think some cryptos are legitimate and some are not. Some people are like, why would you invest in SHIB when you can invest in a real project like ADA or something? I'm like, whatever. I don't consider ADA any more or less valid than SHIB. Sorry, people. Anyway, you can see 4-hour chart does show this beautiful, beautiful downtrend. And now we're seeing some strength. Wow, actually, really, the directional index is about to turn green on the 4-hour chart. That ADX will probably turn up at that point. Squeeze indicator showing some positive upwards momentum. KRI is looking good. Stochastic Rsi shows definitely overbought, but the wave channel oscillator by Lazy Bear is showing we have more time to go. I actually would say I trust on the 4-hour chart the wave channel oscillator more than the Stochastic Rsi, and wave channel oscillator right now by Lazy Bear does show we are in the sweet buy zone. So do what you will. I think that definitely ADA is looking for a challenge of that 200 moving average and a continuance upwards. Definitely, this 4-hour chart is a beautiful setup. The only thing that I would have is you might find resistance to the 200 moving average as you're moving up, and it may have to push at that glass ceiling a little bit before it continues, but it looks like it's definitely finding itself, getting confidence once again. Anyway, with that said, 45-minute chart, it broke the 200 moving average. Looks like it wants to find support above there. These indicators are looking good. It's pushed hard. It's probably going to cool off sideways a little bit before it continues up, like many things are. But do note this, the powerful thing is that I don't know why it keeps going to Bitcoin when I do that, but ADA versus USDT on the daily chart, we're seeing that 200 moving average bounce and a good directional and a good MACD. So boom, I think ADA personally is looking pretty darn strong right now. Crow versus USDT, this thing is nuts. Daily chart, MACD's positive, all is wonderful. It's above all these crazy moving averages. I mean, how do you even deal with that? Crow. I don't know what this means. I know Crypto.com is offering more products, more stuff. That exchange is maturing. I think they've got staking now and interest. There's all kinds of things they're doing. But truly, I do sometimes think that it's people buying the card, getting the Crow card because you got to stake some Crow to get it. The Crypto.com project, if you so desire, check out the description. I do have an affiliate link there for the Crypto.com card. I can't make any recommendations to anybody, but I use it. I like it. It's just damn nice. One of the things I like about it, it's a Bitcoin wallet, Ethereum wallet. You can have a lot of cryptos that you just keep. It's I know, not your keys, not your save it. All right. Okay, boomer, whatever. But with that said, you put your stuff on there, your crypto, and then whenever you so desire, you can convert, and it's instant, just boom, 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 any amount that you want into USD, and then you can purchase with it. So if Bitcoin's on the way up and you're going to buy something, you can let it ride for a while, and right before you buy it, you can boom, also if you see Bitcoin about to take a dump, you can actually and you can take a couple hundred, whatever you're playing with. It is a way, if you make a living off of crypto and any of the cryptos that you have on there that you're using to convert to USD, when you want to buy something, if you see them beginning to turn down, then you could sell into USD if you're going to go buy something anyway, if that was the plan. Sorry, I'm belaboring it, but Crow versus USDT on the daily, it's a beautiful, strong chart. I mean, how's that looking? I mean, the squeeze indicator showing this is just beautiful upwards momentum. This thing is nuts, man. Crow versus USDT on the daily. Let's look at it on the 45-minute chart. Well above the 200 moving average. All these indicators are great. It's just cooling off a little bit right now. It's been pushing hard. So anyway, but this is a strong chart in my opinion. Crow versus USDT. I don't usually get into things that are this extended already. So I'm not saying this isn't a great buy spot, but man, it is just wonderful. With that said, Sol versus USDT. Sol versus USDT on the daily. Solana is a badass coin. I still think that it's essential in the NFT market. And look at what it did. It made a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful 50 moving average bounce this morning. Look at that. Well, actually yesterday, I guess you could say. And a lot of healthy alts are doing that. And the MACD on the daily is beginning to turn towards the positive. Let's take this and look at the 45-minute chart. It's strong. Sorry. Let me move forward to 45. There we go. Sol versus USD 45 on the 45-minute chart. It's beginning to work at a challenge of that 200 moving average. It's not quite pushing it too hard, but as you can see, it's kind of like Bitcoin. Like, the whole market kind of does what Bitcoin does, really. As you can see, a long downtrend, a lot of sell pressure, jacked it up pretty good. Now we're seeing a nice recovery bounce. Now it's going to challenge that glass ceiling of the 200 moving average. When it breaks above that, we're going to be very, 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 very good to go. Looking at the squeeze on the indicator squeeze indicator definitely shows still some downwards momentum. Directional index is in the green. That ADX needs to tangent up. One thing I do like seeing is the RSI is showing that we are pretty much oversold right now, and the tangent is beginning to turn up. You can only see this most clearly, I find, on the hourly chart. Definitely shows that we're oversold right now. So just looking at things. Anyway, I'm just going to watch for Sol versus USDT to make a better run. It's challenging that 200 moving average. I kind of like seeing it. 4-hour chart, as you can see, isn't this rather beautiful? 4-hour chart, it's been moving up very, very strong. Above the 200 moving average, definitely took a hard dump, and we're at a bounce perfectly on the 314 moving average. And what is it doing right now? It definitely gave a little bit back. I mean, that's for sure. It gave a good deal back, and now it's pushing again. And on the 4-hour chart, you can see it's like this morning, it's breaking that 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. So Solana definitely not out of the running. Squeeze indicator is beginning to turn green. ADX is trending towards the positive. I'm sorry, directional index is trending towards the positive, but it ain't green yet. KRI is looking good. Stochastic Rsi shows maybe we've bought too much. Mix of signals. Like I say, on the 4-hour chart, I tend to watch the wave channel oscillator by Lazy Bear more than Stochastic Rsi, and it's showing we are in a sweet buy zone. So 4-hour chart looking powerful. If I was a 4-hour chart player, I'd be waiting for a little bit more confirmation that it's going to stay above that 200 moving average. If I was playing the 45-minute chart, I'd be waiting for that 200 moving average break above. So I kind of think that I'm going to put an alert here. And when Sol breaks this 200 moving average, find support there, and also the 4-hour looks good, and both bunches of indicators look good. And then of course, what do we have on the daily? On the daily, looking at Binance, we have this sweet ass 50 moving average bounce. I think Sol versus USDT is going to be a play for sure. Poly, I know that this does give many people I don't know. Not everybody likes Poly, and I understand, but it is definitely a side chain that's making Ethereum possible because of the gas fees. I think we're going to see more and more this become an extremely relevant crypto. I mean, by the day, literally. And if we look at Poly, what is it doing this morning on the 45-minute chart? Look at that. The 45-minute chart. This thing has broken the 200 and 314 moving average very, very quickly. It's way above. It's too far above the 8 moving average right here. It's going to chill out some. It's a very positive thing. And look at that. Your ADX is trending up. Your directional next is in the right spot. How's that squeeze indicator looking? Oh, positive. KRI, rocket ship to Pluto. KRI is looking, jeez, insane, but it's trending off. So anyway, Stochastic Rsi shows not even really overbought. Weight translated by Lazy Bear is showing it's time to chill out a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, we definitely came here. We definitely pumped hard, and we're kind of challenging some previous highs where things have been. They tend to return, I have found. So with that, to the upside and downside. So anyway, with that said, let's look at a 4-hour chart on this thing. Glorious. Indicators are definitely turning up. It's a little bit stressed right now, but anyway, I'm going to keep an eye on Poly versus USDT. I definitely want it to just chill a little bit, but I do think Poly, this is speculation, high octane speculation, but I just think that Poly is something that is more and more going to be making the NFT market possible because it's a side chain for Ethereum that makes it affordable. So definitely indicators are stressed, but watch this thing to find support. Wouldn't surprise me if it returns to the moving 8 and has strong indicators around .7369. Might be a place that if I had to walk away and put a limit buy, I might do that. So I think that this is too strong from what I'm seeing to be strictly a pump and dump. I think it's going to pump, and I don't think it's going to give all of it back, but I would wait for a confirmed uptrend, before I got into this. And sorry I don't have the Bitcoin Daily View logo at the end. I will just say every Bitcoin Satoshi you own is a bet, is a investment in, is a belief in a positive future for humanity that we with our linear minds cannot even imagine yet. So if you own some Bitcoin, if you're doing the crypto thing, maybe it's just for money, it doesn't really matter. I do believe that at heart, you have an optimism and a belief in a future for humanity that is beyond the globalist boot, and I think that's cool. So welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're part of the peaceful revolution. I'm glad you believe in a positive future for humanity. And this weekend, it looks like us Bitcoin and crypto truth seekers are going to make some money. So ain't no better way to do that than investing in a positive future for humanity. Take care.